So Baroscopics is a biddable media specialist. We grew into an analytics specialist, and recently, in the last 2 years, we've started doing programmatic display. We have a number of B2B clients that have saturated the current interest within the market, and so what they're looking to do is generate more reach. And if I think of clients like SagePay, through the use of click trackers in an integrated attribution environment, you can see over a third of our ultimate conversions have display as their first point of interaction. And so it's feeding the top of the funnel. Feeding the funnel with display gives you a really good understanding of the motive that someone starts off with, where they are in the process. And as you go through, the ability to optimize is absolutely pivotal. One of the critical advantages that we've seen within a B2B environment is that because we can optimize the performance of the campaign as the campaign develops, we tend to see that over time the click-through rates rise 2, 3, 4, 5, 600% because we're targeting people with a relevant message. There's more that can be done with display as well. So for example, you've got a complex or concept-based business model, which we see often within a B2B environment, where you're trying to provide a service that people aren't currently familiar with. Well, if people aren't looking for it, search is difficult. So you want to introduce the proposition. Video particularly can be really effective at doing that. Remarketing is often considered to be a sort of B2C, sort of close that interest point. But if you take a more mature approach to it, it can work really well from a vendor verification point of view. That if you're looking for either a tech or service provider, giving the impression that you are big and heavyweight by recirculating your ads to people is strong. You can recirculate different USPs back to the same individual. For a lot of our clients, particularly in managed hosting, we take a sequential approach because you tend to find that if you look at the multi-channel funnel within hosting, there is no long tail. So it'll be hosting, 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 and then conversion. They don't tend to evolve their search taxonomy. So what we can do is have a more active dialogue with them through remarketing list for search and remarketing across the GDN and DoubleClick in order to evolve the proposition in line with their evolving interactions with the site. An example of an advertiser that has been very sophisticated and has really embraced programmatic display is JP Morgan Asset Management, whereby we have an extremely sophisticated targeting structure broken down into sort of tens of thousands of units of targeting. As we target an individual, we can do so on a variety of different media inventory environments, meaning that we can target the right person in a cheaper cost source than they might have done historically. That person then moves through the conversion funnel. As they log in, we then use a series of systems to access publicly accessible information on the total investments from those individual fund managers. We then cross-reference that with how much they invest with JP Morgan, giving us an insight into the potential value of that lead, which dictates whether they have a salesperson go out and visit them, whether they go into a telephone nurturing process, or whether we just do a really sophisticated remarketing strategy based on our expected value. We then consolidate and anonymize that information, feed that back into first-party targeting into DoubleClick, which then evolves our display targeting. And so our investment through the process evolves based on the value. And that whole process is evolving in real time. So ensuring that we can hit those people with the right message at the right time and evolve the message as their relationship evolves with JP Morgan is absolutely critical. And so for a number of our financial institutions, for example, we've seen 75 to 80% improvement in the conversion volumes by introducing display. From a reach perspective, it's critical. From a cost base, it's often cheaper. From an environment whereby we can introduce, it's very powerful, and particularly for conceptual sales processes, it's critical.